Amid rising tensions in the South China Sea, the Philippines has just taken a bold step to defend its waters. With supersonic missiles now stationed in northern Luzon, Manila can strike targets hundreds of kilometers away, sending a clear message to anyone who dares challenge its sovereignty. But this isn't just about hardware. It's a game of strategy, deterrence, and high-stakes signaling in one of the world's most contested waters. The Philippine Marine Corps has taken a major leap forward in its defense modernization, rolling out its very first BrahMos supersonic anti-ship missile battery and revealing broader plans to tighten coastal security. It's a landmark moment in Manila's push to develop long-range precision strike capability, one that signals a new era for the archipelago's coastal defense. The new BrahMos missile base now stands in northern Luzon at Naval Station Leo Vigildo Gantioque, facing the South China Sea and positioned squarely to cover the hotly disputed Scarborough Shoal. This marks the first of 3 missile batteries included in a 2022 deal with India aimed at boosting the Marine Corps' ability to deter and counter maritime threats in the region. The system's debut was showcased in a video during the Philippine Marine Corps' 75th anniversary celebration, an unmistakable statement of progress. With a range reaching up to 290 kilometers, the first BrahMos battery sits on western Luzon and is operated by the Coastal Defense Regiment's shore-based anti-ship missile battalion. From its position in Zambales, Manila now wields the ability to hold hostile vessels, including Chinese ships around Scarborough Shoal, at immediate risk. Tensions in the South China Sea have only escalated since August, and Beijing's recent declaration designating Scarborough Shoal as a national nature reserve has been met with sharp criticism from Philippine leaders, who see it as another attempt to tighten China's grip over the area. The 3 BrahMos batteries were purchased under a $375 million agreement, India's first export of the homegrown missile and a budget-conscious, yet formidable area denial solution for the Philippines' aging defenses. Each battery includes 2 mobile autonomous launchers, a radar vehicle, a missile reloader, and a command and control truck. Each launcher carries 2 missiles, with the reloader holding 4 more. While the BrahMos is rooted in the Russian P-800 Onyx, India has increasingly shifted the system toward domestic components, refining it through years of collaboration with Moscow. India recently employed the BrahMos in Operation Sindoor against Pakistani military targets, and upgraded variants with extended range are already on the horizon. Meanwhile, the Philippine Marine Corps' 4th Marine Brigade in Ilocos Norte is preparing for another potential BrahMos site, one that would guard the vital Luzon Strait. Strategically perched at the northeastern edge of the country, a base there could impede adversaries moving between the Philippine Sea and South China Sea. The region has taken on heightened importance amid concerns that a conflict involving China and Taiwan could spill over into Luzon's northern provinces. The Philippines has reinforced that focus during joint exercises with partners, including the deployment of American long-range missiles in Balikatan 2024 and 2025. Looking ahead, procurement documents show Manila is considering acquiring around 50 systems ranging from multi-launch rocket platforms to coastal missile batteries, investments totaling about $7.2 billion. These initiatives make up roughly 1/5 of the upcoming $35 billion Rehorizon 3 modernization program, which aims to reshape the armed forces of the Philippines around a comprehensive archipelagic defense strategy suited for today's rising tensions in both the South China Sea and the Luzon Strait. Just last month, the Philippine Army activated its first ground-based missile battalion, marking another step toward a defense posture built around deterrence and territorial protection. Philippine Marine Corps Commandant Major General Vicente Blanco has also outlined plans to enhance joint operations across the services and expand the country's coastal denial capabilities. The formal unveiling of the first operational BrahMos battery on November 7, 2025, in Zambales didn't just mark a ceremonial milestone, it represented a real, deployable capability. With its 290-kilometer reach and the ability to target Scarborough Shoal nearly 200 kilometers away, the Philippines now possesses a mobile coastal interdiction system based on Luzon for the first time in its history. Beyond the hardware, the strategic implications are enormous. Manila can now reshape the maneuver space around Subic Bay and the approaches to the capital, carefully enhancing deterrence without tipping into escalation. The goal is clear: raise the cost of any coercive move at sea while preserving enough strategic flexibility for diplomacy with Beijing. The Philippine Marines have officially rolled out their first BrahMos coastal defense battery in Zambales, announcing that the system reached initial operational capability just last week. The setup on display includes 2 autonomous launchers, each armed with a pair of ready-to-fire missiles, a mobile command center, a support vehicle, and a reloading truck. Built for speed and mobility, this configuration gives Manila a flexible road mobile shield that can reposition anywhere along the coastline when tensions rise. The public reveal wasn't just about showing new hardware. It was a deliberate strategic signal. With a range of roughly 290 kilometers, the BrahMos provides the Philippines with a credible ability to block access to critical waters. Traveling at around Mach 2.8, equipped with fire-and-forget guidance and a 200-kilogram conventional warhead, the BrahMos brings massive kinetic power and extremely short warning time to whatever vessel finds itself in its sights. After acquiring the BrahMos from India, the Philippines wasted no time deploying it toward the direction of China. Manila released a video showcasing the system, marking the first time the country has ever publicly displayed its new supersonic anti-ship weapon. In the footage, each launcher carried 2 missiles, supported by a reloader carrying 4 more. The timing of the release was anything but accidental. It came as China commissioned its newest aircraft carrier, the Fujian, during a ceremony in Sanya, Hainan, right in the South China Sea. As Beijing celebrated a major leap in its naval power projection, Manila reminded the region that it too is upgrading its defenses. The Philippines signed a $375 million deal with India for 3 batteries of the shore-based BrahMos system, making it the second country in the world, after India itself, to field the missile. The first shipment arrived in 2024, the second in April 2025, and the final batch is expected next month. For now, the first BrahMos battery is stationed at a naval base in Zambales, just 220 kilometers from Scarborough Shoal, the same area seized by China in 2012. That distance falls well within the missile's striking envelope. In other words, if push ever came to shove, Chinese Coast Guard or maritime militia vessels operating near the shoal would suddenly find themselves within reach of one of the fastest anti-ship missiles on the planet. And speed is the BrahMos's biggest advantage. Paired with a 200 to 300 kilogram warhead and a sea-skimming terminal approach that drops to as low as 10 meters above the water, the missile is exceptionally hard to track, let alone intercept. Those attributes are exactly why many defense analysts are calling it a game-changer for Manila's coastal defense. China currently has no air defense system capable of taking down the BrahMos missile. Former Philippine Defense Minister Delphine Lorenzana has called it a clear deterrent against anyone attempting to challenge the Philippines' sovereignty. Scarborough Shoal, sitting roughly 200 kilometers from the missile's launch positions, is now well within reach, placing any ships or maritime militia operating in the area at immediate risk. Patrols and escort vessels around Luzon must now factor this threat into their movements, fundamentally altering operational patterns. As tensions rise across the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait, the Philippines is rapidly strengthening its defenses by land, sea, and horizon. Through its modernization program, with support from allies, Manila is equipping the Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP, with advanced systems to protect its territory against potential spillover from conflicts in the West Philippine Sea or Taiwan. The United States has bolstered the Philippines with state-of-the-art missile systems capable of countering Chinese naval fleets, even targeting Chinese bases if necessary. Manila has also acquired systems from Israel and India, providing comprehensive coverage of its archipelago, particularly around northern Luzon and the West Philippine Sea. As a mutual defense treaty ally, the Philippines now hosts U.S. missile systems in Batanes, a strategic choke point where Beijing's ambitions intersect with the northern maritime approaches. Among the new deployments is the Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System, or Nemesis, a ground-based launcher carrying 2 missiles designed to strike enemy ships. Its stay in the Philippines is indefinite. Nemesis is part of a broader U.S. Marine Corps strategy in the Pacific, aimed at countering China's expanding naval presence. This marks the second U.S. missile system stationed in the country following joint exercises. The Typhoon mid-range missile system is another permanent fixture, brought during a 2024 drill. Northern Luzon also hosts a U.S. missile launcher capable of firing multiple types of missiles, including the SM-6 Supersonic missile with 450-kilometer range and Tomahawk cruise missiles reaching up to 2,500 kilometers. Together with the Israeli Spider surface-to-air system, equipped with Python 5 and Darby missiles, these systems give the AFP a formidable, mobile, and technologically advanced defensive shield. Strategically, these deployments would be decisive if a Chinese amphibious fleet tried to anchor near a landing site in Taiwan or operate in the South China Sea. Their positions would be known, allowing BrahMos and Tomahawk missiles to strike high-value targets and potentially neutralize part of the fleet. Yet Manila's approach is measured. The Zambales battery, for example, provides a credible defense against surface targets, including Coast Guard vessels, maritime militias, and warships, without crossing into overt provocation. The goal is simple: raise the cost of any coercive action near Luzon while maintaining a sub-threshold posture. By staying on the defensive, the Philippines pressures potential adversaries and reshapes calculations about access and escort without risking immediate escalation. As for Beijing, the most likely response is not overt military action, but the continuation or even intensification of low-level operations at sea. Frictions between Chinese maritime militias and Philippine Coast Guard units may persist, with Beijing testing Manila's restraint. For the Philippines, the challenge is balancing deterrence with careful crisis management, ensuring a tactical incident does not spiral into a strategic one. In short, Manila's posture is designed to contain threats, not provoke them. Strategic pressure, credible denial, and careful signaling now define the Philippines' approach to safeguarding its waters.